It is a postcard kind of night in Nashville. Upper 80s, harmless, few clouds in the area with blue sky and sunshine. You can see the outfield there. The outfielders, at least for a couple of innings, will be shielding the glare with their glove. The infielders mostly in the shade. And Daz Cameron gets it started for the Sounds. Rhys Hoskins and Tyler Black after that. Cameron in the air, left center, well hit on the first pitch he sees, and 1-0 Sounds. Daz Cameron ambushes a middle-in fastball by Chase Plymel. And the Sounds are off and rolling on this Sunday night. Number 16 for Cameron in just 47 games with the Sounds. And they've got the early lead on a blast by Daz.
Chase Plymel tonight. 45% sliders, 30% four-seam fastball in the low 90s, and 20% sinker. It'll be interesting to see how he attacks. It does show an occasional changeup. Got ambush right there.
Hoskins rehab again tonight for the Brewers. His 10th game with the Sounds. Had a scheduled night off last night. He's had a good week, 6 for 16 with 3 doubles. And the veteran big leaguer has a count of 2-0. So originally this was going to be Mike Clevenger's night for Charlotte. We do not know the circumstances for the change, but it happens a good handful of times every year at AAA, a change in one way or another, whether health-related, whether call-up related, but it's a bullpen game tonight for Charlotte. Now, the White Sox did officially call up Bryce Wilson. That's one arm Charlotte does not have. Now they lose the scheduled starter in Mike Clevenger. Hoskins with a count of 3-1. So the Knights are not only going with a bullpen game, they're short a little bit. They've got 26 active players. The Cubs claimed Aaron Savali off waivers from the White Sox, so the trickle-down effect there brought Wilson up. And now Clevenger scratched from the start here. Strike on Hoskins. He didn't like it. There's that slider from Plymel. The pitch he throws the most, and he stole one there, although this, I think, is going to be overturned. Oh, yeah, that missed by a good margin. And the Sounds have challenged successfully twice here in the early going. One on defense, one on offense, and Hoskins says, wait a minute, that's my ball 4.
That's going to take some getting used to.
He gets the walk. Here's Tyler Black. So they're going to need, you would think, at least 2 or 3 from Plymel. And then the Knights will empty out the bullpen. You've got the off day tomorrow, so if you're ever going to have a bullpen game in a series, you want it to be in the last one in theory because you know everybody gets the breather tomorrow. Black showing bunt, ball 1 inside. So they at least would like to get multiple innings out of Plymel.
He is heavy on that slider. I had one guy that I played with that was like that. And it was he was about 80% sliders, but it's you can't really set on anything when he's coming in slider.
See his catcher there. We showed you the defensive lineman. Blake Sable is the battery mate for Plymel. 31st outing, second time he has started or opened a game. He's been a good reliever for Charlotte, and this is a pitching staff that has a hitter-friendly home park and has had a staff that has had its struggles this year. He's been a bright spot for them with a 2.79 ERA. He walked Hoskins, and now it's 3-0 on Black. See if there's a green light here. And there was, and Black fouls it away, and Tyler Black's been seeing it well. Rick Sweet talked about him before the game. It's been a good week of offense for Tyler Black. He's hit safely in 7 games in a row and drilled a homer last night to cap off a 10-0 Sounds win. And the Sounds and Brewers want Black to be more aggressive. So not surprising there was a 3-0 green light. And now he gets ball 4. He's so selective and so disciplined. And that just shows he's not going to expand unless it's right where he wanted it. And on a night where the Knights want some innings out of Chase Plymel, he's up against it right away. And here's Jefferson Carroll. The part of the season for Plymel that's helped his success, he's only walked 17 in 51 innings. So this is not normally an issue for him. But he's walked back-to-back hitters now and falls behind on Caro, who also has been a hot hitting Sound. It's been a good homestand for this Sounds offense.
That first swing on Cameron could help him. I mean, he's getting at his head. People attacking. It's tough facing Hoskins right after Cameron.
Even on Caro now. And August wrapping up, and Caro has loved this month the way it has turned out. He's got 19 RBIs in August, and 17 of those have come in the last 12 games. 2 on, nobody out. Caro in the air to left center field. Drew Baker's got a play on this one. Not surprising, wearing the sunglasses with all the brightness. And it's going to lead to Hoskins tagging up to third. It was deep enough, and Baker didn't have a lot behind that throw. Good read by the veteran Hoskins. And now the Sounds have a sac fly opportunity, among other things. And Reynel Delgado coming up.
That shows a lot with a guy, big league rehab, taking third on a sac fly right there. I mean, he's definitely wanting to show him that he's healthy.
And that's the Brewers' style, whether it's a guy like Hoskins, who's not a big running, base-stealing threat, or it's somebody who is. They want the extra 90 to be taken in any situation. Now Delgado, and he's attacking, trying to ambush a fastball. The fastball numbers this year for Plymouth, batters are hitting over 360 against the four-seam fastball, which is what he just threw there. He wants to get into slider counts. And the Sounds are, if they're seeing heater, they're going. And they'll check on Tyler Black, one of many Sounds base stealers, and that has been a theme of the week. The Sounds are 22 for 23 in stealing bases in this series in the first 5 games. If they think they can go, they are not hesitating. It's been double steals. It's been taking third. It's been double steal of home. There goes Black, and Delgado fouls it away. Sounds stole 7 bags on Friday, which tied a single-game franchise record. They stole 4 more last night. They've already shattered the franchise record for steals. That was way back in 1981. And they have caught up to Jacksonville. So many times this year we've talked about the Sounds as a base-stealing team, but they were way behind Jacksonville, AAA for the Marlins. Now the Sounds enter play on this Sunday, on the final day of August, just 1 behind Jacksonville with 264 steals. Black not going, and it's 1-2 on Delgado. And it's not just the steals, it's the success rate. The Sounds are aggressive, but also highly successful in stealing bases. And when you know that pitcher only gets the 2 disengagements, you can get him on the ropes. Next one. In the air, right side, and Lipsius will back up. 2 down. Runners have to stay put, and now it'll bring up Jared Oliva.
You know, you mentioned the sun a while ago. It's actually a good thing for the Brewers outfielders because it seems very similar to Milwaukee with the sun coming through the windows.
Oliva has been Exhibit A for the running this week. He's got 4 steals. He's reached in 8 straight. And that one out to center. Baker got a late break. Baker won't get it, and another run is in. Black will take third on a bloop single by Jared Oliva and make it 2-0 for the Sounds right away. And, Jeff, I wonder if the ball coming out of the shade to the brightness played a role there for Drew Baker. He did not seem to pick this well off the bat.
Yeah, when it changes into the daylight and dark right there, I mean, it's very hard to pick up. Seems like he took a step back right on contact, and that's going to play into it well. He got a little off the end of that right there.
And with 2 outs, the other runners were going on contact, so Black easily took third.
They're definitely swinging early and often right here.
Ernesto Martinez Jr.'s had a good week, and they're right away going to check on Oliva. They have seen this movie before. Oliva does a lot of homework. Eric Bennett, the Sounds first base coach, handles the base running for the team. They do a lot of prep work on pop times for the catcher and time to the plate for the pitcher. Plymouth trying to slide step, and Martinez Jr. comes up empty. Jared Oliva's got 45 stolen bases. He's only been caught 6 times. It was already a big part of his game, and then the last few years with these disengagement rules, it plays right into his hands. He is a big fit with the Brewers, signing as a minor league free agent this year. His defense, his speed, his base running, and so right away, Plymel has burned his disengagements. The only other option he really has now is to try to get the sign quickly enough with enough time left on the pitch clock to vary the hold time to not be predictable to the plate. Oliva goes in the dirt. That's bouncing away, and Tyler Black will come in and score.
Looks like we have an injury on the mound.
Plymel is hurt. Oh, man, Chase Plymel's arm is just kind of dangling right now. He went down in pain.
That's a shoulder right there.
Black scores. Oliva ends up at third. He'll get a stolen base and then take another 90 feet, and Chase Plymel is in some pain.
That's the worst feeling you can have out there. You feel all alone, like you're on an island.
You see it right here. He does not even go cover the plate on the wild pitch right there. Look at that. He was dealing with something else entirely than thinking about covering home. And they're out to visit him, and it's already a bullpen game for Charlotte, and Sergio Santos taking out the lineup card, trying to figure out what route they're going to go. Scott Aldred is their pitching coach. These are hard to see. These in-game, spur-of-the-moment, one-pitch type injuries.
Yeah, this is all too familiar for me. I had one time in Washington where Tom Glavine came out in the first with the bases loaded, no outs. It's a very, very hard feeling, tough. You got to go out there and try to get the outs for him, and you definitely don't want to give up his runs. We got a runner.
So they're scurrying in the Charlotte bullpen. Oh, man, you can see Plymel kind of shaking his head. He knows it's just not going to happen tonight, and he will head right over toward the steps and to their clubhouse. Brutal to have to see,
especially this late in the season.
So that Charlotte pitcher will get as long as he needs coming right into the game. These situations, you don't warm up in the bullpen now. You just go right to the field mound, and that is Kyle Tyler who's coming in. So we will step aside. The Sounds are up 3-0, still batting in the first, and Charlotte having to go to the pen much earlier than they anticipated on this Sunday. We'll be back. Back with you here at First Horizon Park, and the Sounds ahead on Charlotte 3-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. And Chase Plymel, a spot starter in a bullpen game for Charlotte, has left due to an apparent injury, and the Sounds will now be facing Kyle Tyler. Jeff Hem and former Sound and Brewers pitcher Jeff Bennett back with you, while Tyler gets as much time as he needs to warm up. And Jeff, I know you dealt with your share of arm injuries in your career. What did you see in what happened to Chase Plymel, and what goes through your mind and how he might be feeling?
Oh, that's the worst feeling in the world. It looked like a shoulder. He pulled up and grabbed at the back of his shoulder, and those are the worst injuries. I mean, I've definitely went through it. I had a shoulder separation in Atlanta, throwing to first, and, I mean, you just hang with him as much as you can. It looked like he wasn't able to pull through that one.
So Ernesto Martinez Jr. will continue his at-bat. It was a 1-1 count on that last pitch that Plymel threw, or after the last pitch that he threw. There was a wild pitch that sent Jared Oliva to third and brought in Tyler Black. So 1-1 on Martinez Jr. as Kyle Tyler comes in quickly for Charlotte.
You get extra time warming up there, but really you can never have enough time. When you get out there on the field, your emotions are going through. You're trying to make sure you hurry up, but you don't want to take too much time. And those first couple pitches to the hitter are still warming up.
Yeah, that's not an easy role either, to be the guy coming in on short notice and feeling like the entire ballpark is waiting for you to be ready. Out to left, and Martinez Jr. again with an RBI the other way. He wants two. The throw to second. He's got a double. Ernesto Martinez Jr. the last few nights has been peppering balls to the opposite field. This one is 4th RBI of the week, and the Sounds have a 4-0 lead.
That's a great approach right there. You see how flat the bat is on the swing. You know, he's looking to take that fastball away and drive it into right and score that run. He did the same thing last night, looking like he's trying to push that ball to right field, left field.
Yeah, he's 5 for 9 now in the series. That one an opposite field double. And that'll close the book on Chase Plymel. Freddie Zamora takes ball 1. Charlotte entered the game shorthanded, knowing they would need several pitchers to cover the innings, and now they've had to go even to another plan with the unfortunate departure of Chase Plymel. They certainly have to thank Kyle Tyler. They want him to finish this inning and at least go another. We talk about this all the time. We can only know so much about who is available and who's not available. We can give you days rest and how many pitches they threw in their last outing. Zamora on the ground to short, and Amaya throws out his counterpart. Ramos handles the wide throw and puts the tag on Zamora. But a big start for the Sounds. They sent 8 to the plate in the first. They put up a 4 spot. It started with a Daz Cameron homer, ended with a Martinez Jr. double. And after 1, the Sounds out to a comfortable advantage. Garrett Stallings, a 4-0 lead now. That's a comforting feeling for a pitcher. He's looking for a bounce back tonight. Had a scoreless first inning, and then the offense puts up 4 in the bottom half. A good start for the Sounds on this Sunday night. And here's Charlotte first baseman Brian Ramos. Strike 1 from Stallings.
Every position player is happy that he just threw a first pitch strike. You want to get him back in the dugout as quick as possible after that 4 run.
Just missed with that one, and it's 1-1 on Ramos. Ramos has seen Stallings a good amount, 1 for 7 against him. That one's cut on and missed, and Ramos was looking to launch on that curveball. They scored the 6 runs against Stallings in 2 2/3 on Tuesday. Stallings had pitched 3 times against Charlotte this year before that outing and given up a total of 1 run in 8 2/3. So that outing on Tuesday night was not the norm. Ramos just gets a piece, and that includes a 6-inning, 1-run quality start for Stallings a month ago when Charlotte was here. These two teams met in April in North Carolina, and then again in late July, about a month ago, and now they wrap up the season series tonight. Right center, Oliva's been busy already, runs that one down. Here's Jacob Gonzalez.
You know, it's really tough facing these guys that many times in a series, with it being the series being all week and you're facing them twice. You got to not reinvent the wheel, but you definitely have to change up your arsenal.
Yeah, the game of adjustments gets interesting in that situation. 0-1 on Gonzalez. That was not something that you had to deal with in your career, Jeff, unless it's, second time within a couple of weeks or something like that, where it could still be in recent memory. But 4-game series was the max you would have dealt with.
Yeah, you would have playoffs. Right before playoffs, most of the time you'd play a team, and if you were battling it out with them, you might end up finishing the season with them and then opening up, in the playoffs. But it's really tough seeing that same team over and over again. The Atlantic League, we would do that a lot. And, you would literally have to sometimes start off the game with breaking balls, pitch backwards.
Because you felt like they knew you so well.
They had a scouting report on the last, and nothing changed. They were ready for it.
Gonzalez strikes out. Carroll confirms it down to first. And first punch out of the night for Stallings. And that one came on a curveball. Two down here in the second. And that's an example. Stallings had gone with 4-seam fastballs, 2 pitches in a row, and then dropped the hook. Sable takes ball 1.
He went below the zone on that one.
We saw Blake Sable on Thursday, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. This one's out to right. Daz Cameron is all over it, and Garrett Stallings with a 1-2-3 right after his offense puts up 4. He gets them right back in the batter's box. A good start for Stallings, and through an inning and a half, it's 4-0 Sounds. 4-0 Sounds, bottom of the second here in Nashville. Ethan Murray, the only Sound who did not bat in that long first inning. And Kyle Tyler had to come in and fill in and pick up for the injured Chase Plymel. And Tyler goes back at it now for the Knights, who are already going bullpen game tonight, and they've got a lot to cover now. Strike one on Murray. Sounds second baseman. A few weeks now for Murray, up from AA Biloxi. 3 for 14 in the series. And that one's in to make it 0-2. So
Tyler now just getting warmed up. You know, that last half of the inning was tough on him. It's as a pitcher, you're dreading going back out there that quick.
On the ground is short. Routine for Jacob Amaya. And Murray is out number 1 here in the second. Sounds have already won the season series no matter what happens in this game. In fact, they've won more games this year against Charlotte than in any previous year. And in those previous years, they also won the season series. This has been a friendly matchup for the Sounds in these 5 years since they've been in the International League together. Daz Cameron homered on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. That one he will take for a strike. And Tyler said, oh, Cameron homered on a fastball. I'm going slider on the first pitch, and he grabs the outside corner. He was watching what happened to Plymel in the first. That one a heater, and it's 0-2 on Cameron. And the Sounds are 52-29 against Charlotte these last 5 years. And they've won the season series each of the 5 years. And these last few, they played 18 games against the Knights, so it's not like they're winning one series and that's all they play against them. They're seeing Charlotte as much as anybody else on the schedule. Cameron, big chop to third, fair ball. Gonzalez, high throw. Ramos handles it. Gonzalez did not have a lot of time there, and Cameron got down the line in a hurry. 2 down, and Reese Hoskins comes up again. There's CJ, our junior PA announcer tonight. Getting Hoskins introduced. Hoskins drew a walk in that first inning. Got the Yellow Brewers batting gloves on. And you can always tell the rehabbers by the one flap, the single flap on the helmet. Difference between the big league batting helmet and the ones at AAA. There's the exposed right ear for Hoskins.
Coming up through the minor leagues, that was one thing you look forward to. You hope you got to wear that helmet, and then the other was the leather belt. Like I can remember the first time I got a leather belt in the big leagues. And it was
That's cool.
Like receiving a gold trophy or something.
Yeah, it's like one of those little things that the outside world wouldn't realize is so cool to a guy getting to the big leagues.
They're not that much difference, but it definitely seems like it.
It speaks volumes, right?
Definitely.
Just one of the little details. Show details.
I still have my leather belt. I doubt very seriously it'll fit.
I wasn't going to ask that, Jeff. You didn't have to do that to yourself. Ball 4 to Hoskins. And here's Tyler Black.
Now batting in left field, number 5, Tyler Black.
Black had a walk in the opening inning. Sounds by 4 early. Those shadows are getting easier for the outfielders. Baker in center doesn't have to deal with it anymore, but Jolks in left does. It's been such a mild week, though. Another just perfect night for a game. And not only temperatures that start with an 8 and not a 9, but also no rain this homestand. It's been a good run. 1-1 on Black. And these are the dog days, Jeff, as you well know from your playing days, that late August period, especially at AAA, you're wondering, am I going to get back up or am I going to get up at all? And it can be a mental grind. The Sounds love their confines here. This is one of the best AAA parks you could ever find, and the playing surface and the amenities that the players have here. So you get a 2-week homestand at a part of the year where you could use it. And I think the Sounds have played well on the field, showing the enjoyment of the way the schedule has fallen for them to be 7-4 on the homestand entering tonight.
Yeah, usually at this late in the year, you're not that aggressive on the base path. But, I mean, it just shows how energetic they are. I mean, to be able to go out there and steal that many bags and not get thrown out, I mean, you're doing something right.
And playing for a chance to help a team that right now has the best record in baseball. Black down the line and left. Gonzalez will give it a chase, but it's foul. Tyler Black's been up and down a few times. You got Hoskins, the base runner at first. He's on rehab assignment. He was a huge contributor for the Brewers earlier in the year before the big league team had really taken off the way it has the last few months. And the rosters expand tomorrow. September 1st is tomorrow. They expand by 2 spots. You can basically add 1 more position player and 1 more pitcher.
You always wanted to be that one. I mean, I know back then when I played it, it wasn't just one. You got to September 1st. You could call up all 40 if you wanted. You definitely wanted to have your name called when that day came.
Black gone on strikes. Sounds strand Hoskins. And we'll take it to the 3rd on this Sunday night in Nashville. Still a 4-0 lead for Tyler Black and the Sounds.